Hello, everyone. To start, I want to bring up something from a movie I really love called Forrest Gump. In the movie, there's a quote that people love to relay, and that is, "Life is like a box of chocolates, you never know what you're going to get." But when I think of that quote, I imagine that each piece of chocolate represents an important aspect of my life. If you open the box, you'll find little pieces of family, friends, education, music, and exercise. So first off, my name is TJ Meyer, and I was born on November 16th, 1994, in Riverside, California, to a father of Greek and French descent and a mother of Italian and German descent. I have a younger sister and an older brother, which leaves me as the middle child, but we all know what that means. The middle is the cream of an Oreo, so in other words, I'm the best part. My mom is more of a free spirited kind of person who's very open minded and taught us that as kids, life is constantly changing and to make sure you be yourself no matter what it is. My dad, on the other hand, is a retired police officer, and he's more of a traditional kind of individual who has a specific mindset of how life is and should be when it comes to views in politics. He has began to become more open minded about things, but he's still a little stubborn on his own life beliefs. My sister is currently a college student at Dixie State University and is majoring in criminal justice. She wants to follow both of my parents' footsteps and become a police officer, even though my dad has expressed him not wanting her to deal with that job like he had, even though he is fully supportive of her and her decisions. My brother, on the other hand, is definitely the troublemaker, but also the influencer at the same time. He and I have gotten into so much trouble together, and I'm not scared to say that he definitely influenced me into doing some not so smart things with him. I remember one time specifically when I got into so much trouble because of my brother. My childhood home in Eastville, California, where I used to live when I was in elementary school, had a huge backyard. We had a huge pool, a nice water slide, and a big wooden patio that reached almost up to the second story roof that was placed right next to the slide. My brother and I used to climb up the side of the slide and jump from the top of the slide to the wooden patio, and we would climb the wooden patio to the second story roof of our house, and we would jump from there into our pool. We got caught one time, so my stepmom at the time told us to never let her see us doing it again or we would be grounded. So one day, my brother and I were home alone, and he convinced me to go swimming and convinced me to climb up to the roof again. He told me he didn't think I could front flip, so obviously I had to get up there and prove him wrong because we were very competitive, even though I knew I would get in huge trouble if I got caught. So he and I both climbed up to the roof, and little did I know, my stepmom pulled up and went into the house, and we were both there on the roof. I jumped off the roof to do a front flip. I did the front flip, landed in the water, and as soon as I stuck my head out of the water, my stepmom was standing at the edge of the pool, giving me the worst look. She started yelling about how much trouble I was in and asked where my brother was. He was still on the roof, but she couldn't see him from her view, and I couldn't tell on him or I would look bad to him. My stepmom took me inside. My brother climbed down, grabbed his clothes from the patio, put them on, went around the house, and walked through the front door, pretending to have come home from his friends, acting like he was never on the roof, about to jump off 2 minutes before. So, at the end of the day, I got grounded from going outside or using the pool for 2 weeks, while he had no punishment come on to him, and my stepmom, still to this day, probably does not know that he was even on the roof with me at any point. So, everybody, if your brother ever wants you to go on the roof with him, just say no.